Hey guys, my name is Holly and I'm here to share a video with you about how whole foods plant-based diets saved my life. So first I just want to let you guys know that I had a major addiction to cheese. I feel like it was something that was going to take me down the wrong path and I was going to end up in the hospital with my chest cracked open, with IVs coming out of my neck, you name it, just in the hospital, just unwell. And I decided that I really needed to do something about it. And so I'm here to tell you guys what I did and how I've reclaimed my health and how I'm still here today and how to help you do the same. So first of all, why do I feel that cheese was going to kill me? I had extremely high cholesterol, terrible blood pressure, horrible inflammation, and we'll get back to that. That's kind of what started me down this whole vegan, whole foods, plant-based path. I would even get, when you get like a heartbeat feeling in your skin, you're just, standing there, it feels like pulsing. To me was, a sign of bad inflammation, horrible plantar fasciitis, to the point where I couldn't even walk. And I work a job that's, back then, when I started this, that was extremely physical, on my feet, 10,000 steps a day kind of a thing. I even had episodes of chest pain and it scared me to death. And I'm 38 years old. And when I started this journey, I was 35. So 3 years ago, during, that scary time, I felt like it was as good a time as any. Achy joints, migraine, headaches, you name it. It was just miserable to be me. And I wanted to do something about it. So I did loads and loads of research, just looking for a change, because what I thought what I was doing was not working. And, like Einstein always says, doing the same thing over and over and over again, definition of insanity. And I just wanted to stop that. So it's also puffy all over. I mean, I have a very round face. So as you can imagine, it was far worse. My neck and everything like that. It was a horrible thing. And also low calcium. I mean, I would go to the doctor and get checked. I'd have extremely low iron, extremely low calcium, eating, meat and dairy and the standard American Western diet, what have you. It just was not working for me, and I wanted to figure out a different way. So I got online, did tons of research about inflammation and diets that could help that, and stumbled onto a whole food plant-based diet. So here I am. I also was fortunate enough to come across this book by Dr. Neil Barnard. He is a saint. He's an amazing human being. You can find him on YouTube, on Instagram. He has a podcast. He is just an amazing individual. He's part of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, so you can check them out there. He's based out of Washington, D.C., here in the States. He's written several best-selling books. This one's The Cheese Trap. It's really not that long of a book, but it very much details the addiction of cheese, why people are addicted to it, and the dangers of it, and a bunch of disgusting, horrible facts that will probably make you turn your nose at cheese. Who knows? It did for me. And I akin my addiction to it like a cocaine addiction, which probably sounds extremely dramatic. I would literally go to Costco and get, I think they're like, you get two 2-pound bags of cheese. I would go there, I would get the sharp cheddar, that was my favorite, and I could go through a bag that a week, which to some of you may sound totally disgusting. Believe me, it disgusts myself to think about it now. And I was in Costco the other day and I walked with us and I thought, oh my God, never again. I live by myself, so just me consuming all that saturated fat, cholesterol, all the horrible things. And like Dr. Barnard says, cheese is the concentrated version of milk. Milk is food for baby calves to grow them into a big cow in a very short amount of time. No, milk is not food for humans. It's food for a baby calf to grow into a cow, just to get a lot of calories as quickly as possible. So again, he goes over that in his book. If you get a chance to read it, highly recommend it. You can usually get these probably secondhand off of eBay. That's usually what I do, to save a couple of bucks. The consumption of cheese was just out of control for me. Obviously, doing horrible things to my health. My father has, high cholesterol, blood pressure. He's diabetic. He continues to eat the standard American Western diet. No judgment to him. Health is not good. My mother's health is not good. She has celiac disease. She had a liver transplant 2 years ago in April. Due to the celiac disease, a lot of people don't realize that people that get liver transplants, it's not always because they were an alcoholic. My mother was not an alcoholic. She came from a family riddled with cancer, pretty much any kind of cancer you can imagine. Everybody in her family's had it, including her. So I just, in my mind, felt it's not if, it's when, and I didn't want to go down that path. And the more I studied and read about a whole foods plant-based diet, I realized this is the path for me. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to shine my light. I'm going to get healthy. If other people want to follow my lead and ask and learn, I'm here to help, but I'm not here to push or force anybody into doing this way of life. Like I said, my family, nobody eats this way but me for now. Maybe that will change. They are curious, but this is about my journey and my stories. Again, like Dr. Barnard talks about, cheese is high in saturated fat, sodium, cholesterol. It's not health promoting food whatsoever. It has bacteria on it that smell like vomit and stinky socks because it's the same bacteria that's in both of those things. So think about that for a minute. So how did I break free of the addiction? I tried several times to slowly weed it out of my diet here and there. That never worked for me. I always just came back. So one day I had this revelation and I took a garbage bag and I went through the whole house and I just threw chips, cookies, crackers, anything that was fattening, or of course I went through that vegan junk food phase, but if it had milk or cheese, any kind of dairy stuff in it, it went out of my house. And I did it overnight, and that's what did it for me. Sometimes it takes, depending on the person, it could be something that you need to do gradually over time. It could be something, where you're like me and you have to do it overnight because you just have to get it out of your house. And I would love to make an entire video about that, about how your environment can shape going forward your success, or I don't want to say failure, but it can shape your success. So I did delve into finding some plant-based alternatives. There are loads of companies out there that make plant-based cheeses. Some of them are really, really good. Some of them not so good, but everybody's different. What some people like, you may find disgusting. They're definitely good transition foods, but again, most of them are made with coconut oil, and that's also have saturated fat, just like regular dairy cheese. Now, it doesn't have the cholesterol and the sodium and that sort of thing like regular cheese does, but it's definitely not a health food. It's something that you might want to trickle off over time, or once you feel, okay, I'm off of the regular cheese addiction, I can stop buying these things. And there's a whole bunch of recipes out there from so many different content creators, cheese sauce recipes that are more whole foods, different alternatives you can use. Cashews are huge in the plant-based world, and we can definitely delve into a video about that, with different alternatives and things that you can try to transition yourself off of that if you're that type of person that doesn't want to just, throw everything out overnight. And also, I need to preface that a whole foods plant-based diet does not mean you can't have a treat here and there. If you go out and have a vegan burger and it has vegan cheese on it, that's okay to have from time to time. There's nothing wrong with that. Remember, this is a lifestyle forever. This is not a one and done, I'm here to lose 20, 30 pounds and then I'm going to go back to the way I was eating. That's not how it works. I know that's how we've been conditioned probably our entire lives. If other people have gone through being overweight most, if not their entire life, and that's definitely another topic for another day. Nutritional yeast is also another really good alternative to cheese. It's kind of, like the Parmesan cheese, if you will. You can put some on your pastas and potatoes and rice dishes, or vegetables if you prefer. A good vegan line of cheese is called Tree Line. It's a little more expensive. I've seen it at Whole Foods. It's typically around $7, $8 regular price. It's more of a spreadable cheese like Alouette or like a cream cheese, I guess, if you will. Delicious. They don't contain any coconut oil, so it's a little bit better. And also for like a cream cheese, Kite Hill makes a delicious almond milk based cream cheese. I think it's better than the stuff you could get as, regular milk cream cheese. It's delicious. I myself still eat a little bit of that here and there. I love it. And when I have it, I only have about a tablespoon's worth. So I think that's about half of a serving size. But it's helped me so much to transition off of the crap. Hey guys, so I just wanted to go over some of the cheese alternatives I spoke about in the video. First is nutritional yeast. This is kind of like the savior of the plant-based diet. It's really good. It's full of vitamin B12 too, which is awesome. Very low in calories, super delicious. This is a homemade cheese sauce. This is actually she goes by Healthy Vegan Mama. This is her recipe. This is a really small jar, so as you can tell, it made a little bit more than this, but that's what I like is something small, and I actually replaced half of the cashews in her recipe for beans, and it's still like super good. It's not like, my gripe about it is it'll usually be watery, and that's not watery at all, so love, love, love that. This is the Kite Hill cream cheese. I love, love, love the chive one. This stuff is so good. It's so creamy. I don't know if you've had the Trader Joe's one that's like coconut oil based, but it's so thick it's hard to like spread it. This stuff is just like regular cream cheese. And if you look at the nutrition facts here, minimal ingredients. It's pretty much just almond milk. It is low calorie, lower in fat. It does not have, obviously, saturated fat. It's got calcium in it. It's 0 cholesterol. It's even got a couple grams of protein in it. This stuff is delicious. What I use it for is I make sweet potato toast. I put a little bit of Marmite on it, which is my favorite thing in the world. Those of you that are from the UK or in England, anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's addictive, delicious stuff. So these are just a couple of little options that you can try. But yeah, anyways, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Thanks. Okay, one last thing I want to show you guys as a cheese alternative. Kelly's Croutons makes these a lot like Parmesan cheeses. There's different flavors. This is the Aloha one, so it's got some seaweed in it. It's good for sushi bowls. It's delicious. This is the original, the gourmet cheesy parm. Again, super minimal ingredients, guys. Delicious. You just need a little bit. It's so good. Taco Tuesday parm, it's literally just cashews, nutritional yeast, and spices. It's amazing. And lemon pepper parm. This is probably my favorite. There's also a garlic one and a chipotle one, and I think that's it. These are just amazing for, potatoes or anything boring, rice, whatever. Just highly, highly recommend. I'll link them down below. They're from Southern California, down in San Juan Capistrano, which is from the area that I was from. My grandparents lived there, and so they're like, they were local to me, not anymore, but this is a great company. So I will link these guys down below, and let me know what you think. Dr. Barnard even talks about how cheese has a link to Alzheimer's disease, as well as heart disease, which is the #1 killer in America. People eat over 70,000 calories of cheese every year, the average person. And that's a disgusting statistic, especially if you compare it to, back during World War II, when things like that were hard to get and people were more fit and lean, and, we didn't have fast food and prepackaged foods. Granted, yes, a lot of them were eating meat and the occasional dairy, but people were healthier back then because they didn't have all the conveniences of what we have today, especially if you live in the States, which is, it's sad to me. My parents lived in England for a long time, and back there, it was a lot better, at least up in the country. They lived in Harrogate. McDonald's, there was one maybe 30 minutes away, and it did not have a drive-through. So it was a lot more difficult to get those convenience foods. And here it's every street corner has McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, you name it. And I moved here, I live in the Midwest now, but I lived in Southern California. And it was a culture shock to me to come to the Midwest where everything is a drive-through, from ice cream shops like Baskin Robbins to Pizza Hut. I mean, that was mind-blowing to me. I thought, oh my God, even in California, we didn't have drive-throughs for all these places, but they just make it more convenient to get the stuff that is not good for us. So it's definitely not a good thing, and it's detrimental to the health of modern people in society. I'm going to link down below a couple of studies for you guys if you want to look and see the direct link between changing to a whole foods plant-based diet and eradicating heart disease. Look below if you want to see a couple of studies that will explain further what I can't really explain very well, apparently. So if you want, check those out below. And I have a cheese sauce recipe. I will make a separate video on that. It's one that's, good as is. It doesn't make a ton, which I prefer. I feel like some of these cheese sauce recipes out there are great. But if you don't want to have to like calculate, okay, half of this, half that, you can double it if you want. I feel that when stuff sits in the fridge in big quantities, it gets kind of gross and weird. But if not, you do you. Feel free to double, triple, whatever. But I will make a video about that for you soon. So I highly encourage you to think about the impact of food on our health. I believe it was Hippocrates that said, let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food. It's so true, you guys. You reclaim your health with food. I'm not saying throw away your medications if you're, diabetic, on heart pills, whatever it is. I'm not saying that. I'm not a doctor, so please don't go doing that. But you can greatly reduce your risks of heart disease, diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, inflammation. There's a whole host of different things that you can do to reclaim your health and come back. And I want you all to remember, it's not all about, losing weight and becoming a supermodel. This is about your health and how you can live decades longer and enjoy time with your children, your grandchildren, being able to walk and get down on the ground and play with your kids, and not be like what most of America is. When you go out and you see these poor people, it's really sad. And I'm here to help you change that. I hope this was a really useful video. If you have any questions for me, please leave them down below. We can chat together. You can follow me on Instagram. I'll put my handle here on the screen. We can chat over there. But I'm here to share my knowledge and help anybody that wants, to get into this lifestyle more. And I appreciate you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for clicking play today. I'm so grateful for you. And I will see you again soon. Thanks.